What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to Enigma Garage, where we have the CRZ Turbo that we are going to re-turbo. Let's get to it. So what we have here is a couple of turbos, lots of parts from Ace Race, including the exhaust over there, and a couple 3D printed parts. But first, let's get into some updates for the channel. I am rewiring the LS harness because I no longer own any Mega Squirts. Everything has been pulled off of every car. Nothing has anything Mega Squirt left. I'm switching over all my cars over to Fuel Tech and trying to make my wiring job just that much cleaner. Started here, not happy where this is going. I might run over this way or might just come over and then just branch fuel and coils over that way. I'm just trying to make the harnesses look a little bit better. So just be patient with me on some updates. School is back, single dad, it's a fun life. So we'll get into some details here and go over everything. Let's start with the turbos. On the left we have the Maxspeedingrods GT3071R journal bearing. It's got a relatively small footprint, but the adapter for the back really kind of kills the footprint of it. And then on the right we have my old Kia turbo, GT3071R ball bearing turbo, and it's got the small V-band housing on the back, which makes the footprint extremely small compared to the other one. So if anybody's wanting to embark in something like this, I do advise for the small Honda engine bay, because there really isn't much room in this thing. And I'm gonna have to move a lot of stuff, and it should fit in here just fine when all these pipes are gone. Even debating on relocating the battery to the trunk. Gonna be a little bit weird for a hybrid. I hope everything would work. Seems to be plenty of space, and according to the hood, the way it's curved, I can come up probably up to here with the turbo stuff. So I should have a lot of room to make the 28R work, which I'm going to be making kits, and I'll be jigging everything up and fabricating turbo kits. But I think I'm going to take the whole intake box off, take the intake manifold off, which luckily the injectors are built into the head on these cars. So I'm going to 3D print an adapter that goes from the head, and it's just going to come up at a slight like 30-degree angle, maybe spaced out about that far. And I'm going to take this whole intake manifold and put it right here and put the throttle body right here. Should give plenty of space. I'll have to make adapter harnesses for the... Now that could probably swing over. Map sensor should swing over. The idle air control valve, probably going to have to extend that. The throttle body, I'm probably going to have to extend that one. MAF should be fine because it is over here, factory. A couple things I'll have to do. I'm in the south. I do not need the recirculation for the coolant in the throttle body, so I'm just going to bypass it from here up into the head area. I'm going to take off the other pipe here, which goes to the vacuum for the cylinder head, and I have actually integrated that into a new MAF stack. So I've 3D printed this out of carbon fiber nylon, PA6 nylon. Looks freaking fantastic. It is strong as can be. And of course the test piece that did not fit, we have that. It just slides over. The new one is pretty much the exact same diameter. So I can use a 4-inch hose clamp for it. So that's the plans for this. Exact placement of the turbo I'm not sure of yet, but we do have our 3D printed stainless steel flanges that goes to the Honda, which of course you see my iterations of the design. All this will be full from the flange to the turbo. Might not supply the turbo in the kit. I don't know yet. I'm trying to figure all this stuff out. We'll see how much it is all together, jigged up, my time and everything. And of course we got flanges. Yeah, so anyways, talking too much. I need to actually get to it. But the first thing to get some space, I do need to take off all of the intercooler piping, take off the intake manifold, the lower manifold, 3D scan it with my new 3D scanner from RevoPoint. It's the Metra X, which I'll show some clips on the screen here in just a few minutes. Yeah, so that's how I'm going to design everything. I'm going to 3D scan it, print some stuff up, move the intake, put the turbo. All the piping should come up and over. If you've ever seen Bisimoto's Honda CRZ, that thing is bad. CRZ or Honda Fit, it's one of those. But it's wild. So it's kind of where I'm getting my style from. I kind of want to put the turbo a little bit far forward, I'm thinking, so I can just hood exit it. The wastegate on the 3071 will be over here, back here, so I think I'm going to do a screamer pipe up this way out the hood. The other turbo, the one that I'll be selling to everybody, the wastegate's integrated into the turbo, so the downpipe will just go down, and the downpipe will be included with the kit, I'm thinking, with a V-band end, so you can just weld from that V-band on for your own exhaust. And of course, I'll be selling the intake manifold adapter so you can rotate everything with the extension harnesses. So let's start taking this thing apart.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers. You better wake up for the pay stub, or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Famous for the way up, play the game, bruh.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise.
Alright, let's take you off the tripod for a minute. So I loosened up the map sensor, the idle air control valve, and the throttle body, and it just lays perfectly where it's going to need to be relocated to. Good sign already. Just wanted to stop and show that, and let's get the rest of this intake off.
While the haters be trying me, but they hate from inside. You see, hate themselves in society, so I let them speak quietly while my actions speak wider. See, they be hiding in privacy with the screen. Oh, the irony to hate someone who's trying to be whatever they would like to be. We all feel the anxiety, we make our own rivalries. Yo, so where is all the positivity? I feel like we all just hate on everything, it's killing me. Thoughts build quick, causing different possibilities. Negative thoughts will cause different disabilities. So do better, work hard under pressure. If you got no time, work smarter than ever. Don't ever let them tell you that you can't never say never. And turn your mind into the truest to go-getters.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah.
You know I'm always honest, there ain't no way I'm ever stopping.
I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah.
Oh, this looks sick. That's wild. Definitely need to move everything off the cowl, take off the cowl for access, and I should be able to come just straight up, over, and into the turbo. Of course, I'm going to have to wrap it because that's going to get hot as hell. Actually, it might just come up and then over here and 45 in. Yeah, short exhaust. This might even work pretty well with the other turbo, but plenty of freaking room. I mean, I'll still have battery area. I'll have room for a little the MAF area and the spacer. And I was wrong. That is for the MAF. the throttle is way back here. So I will have to get an extension for this, probably a 2-foot extension. No biggie. And I need to get the intake manifold off, start scanning everything here, hold up the other intake manifold just to kind of see if it's going to be working. And I can almost reuse all the intercooler stuff coming up and over. Yeah. Let's keep getting it. So much more room for activities. I'm kind of liking the 45 on the turbo now. Of course, I can clock that to where it's going to be over here. I got aluminum 90s I can weld, but that'll give me way better access to bring a hood exit over this way or downpipe if I'm wanting to do. And I can do the exhaust to come up over here and into the side of the turbo. I think I know why I had oil issues. The oil drain was severed and the seals are bad in the turbo, and there's a ton of rust. I hate living in the south. So we're gonna get, oh, I guess I'll show you over here on the car, because we have a lot more room for activities now. As you can see back here, there's the old downpipe and the severed oil line. Flange and everything looks perfectly fine. Yeah, so I'm gonna start working on the flange, do as much as I can with the GoPro. I need to order a set of batteries. We are now on my camera because the GoPro battery sucks. Yeah, we're just cutting off the flange to the turbo. This is gonna be the one with the wastegate, and I'll show you over here. I want to say this even looks better than my GoPro. So we are going to run the tube to the side just like this. Let's see if I can balance it on here. I can. So the wastegate will be sticking off the side just like this, pointing straight up for the hood exit, and we'll get it tacked up in place with the one that's over here. Let's get to it. I think everything else from now on is going to be from my phone, so it might be just a little bit different. But here we go. Here is the flange with the elbow tacked on and the wastegate placement, so I can come straight up out of the hood. You can kind of see here, everything's nice and flat with it. So I will probably fit up the next elbow and see where it's going to be to get to my turbo location, and we'll go from there. Hopefully you see where I'm going with this now. So the manifold's going to come over here, come up over into this. And of course I'm going to space up the turbo a little bit. We're not going to cook that plastic valve cover. Gives me plenty of room for the PCV to come in to get some nice vacuum on there, because I was smoking on diesel. But then again, the turbo was blown. This turbo is freaking massive. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. So yeah, I think I need to do the next 90 up this way and then figure out how to join them together. And you can see where the wastegate's pointed. Oh, that's going to be nice. So nice. Let's get to it. We've got the second 90 in place. We've got a little weight here to hold a nice gap up against, or away from the valve cover. And, oh, we're close. So I need to cut a straight and then come over to 45, and then I could probably play with the angles a little bit and get the turbo tacked in place, which I have that going over here right now. Still have a lot left over for a second manifold, so I can start making jigs. We're getting it. More Ace Race 304 stainless. Everything is 304 stainless except for the actual flange. The flanges are 316. So 316. And I want to say this is mild because these are notorious for warping. So that one's mild. I'll use 309 stainless. I use 309 to the 316 to 304. And 308L for the actual 308 pieces. Or sorry, 304 pieces. Yeah. Alright, let's keep getting it. I got a little bit of writer's block going on. I'm not sure where I want to move the turbo to. I did tack this up and set that down, but I'm just thinking, I don't know how much clearance I really have back here without a downpipe. So I am cutting right now the 3" into 4.5 degrees. Yeah, 9 degrees in total once it's double cut. So first one's gonna be 4.5, the next one's 9. So I'm gonna do a whole bunch of pie cuts, and I'm gonna do roughly 4 pie cuts and just see what my clearance looks like over here and up and down, and we'll see if I need to modify this one piece, and then we'll tack it all together and see how it looks. Here's where I'm at. I got the wastegate positioned exactly where I want. We've got the up and over with plenty of space next to the coils. I'm right on the heat shield, but I am kind of stuck right here. My long radius 90s are absolutely way too long. I need to bring a 45 up over this way and then a tight radius 90 into the turbo, which I will have plenty of room once I get rid of this heat insulation to come up over with the 3", come over and up out of the hood. Of course, the wastegate tube will be coming up right next to it. Looking better and better. I've got my little angle, which I will be twisting the turbo about 5-10 degrees up, but I can't do that until I have everything in position because my little janky blocks down here keep shifting everywhere. Oh yeah, intake. I got scared, didn't want to cut the intake over here, so me and my buddy went to the salvage yard and I got another intake. I am going to cut this thing right down those casting lines, and I'm going to fabricate with some 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to cut this, the tube right there. I'm going to cut 2 lines down this way through it, so that whichever width I'm going to have for these right here. So I'm pretty much going to make this plate right here. Actually, I probably measure it to the same width. Cut it here, plate it, weld around each one, put the tube on top of it, and then a flat plate to the throttle body. That will be the plan, but I guess she's down for now, and I'm gonna have to drive my buddy's car to work. I need to get on Ace Race and order these parts, but it's coming along, coming along. And we are back with a set of GoPro batteries. Got the new one in. That's the bunk one, I think. We'll see if that even gets above that. So off the phone, back to the GoPro, back to the shenanigans. I've got the manifold back here. I'm waiting on the tight radius 90 to come in so I can kind of finish that. So I'm gonna start working on the intake. And what I did notice, let me close the hood. So what I did notice, there is a ton of height inside this engine bay that is not being used. So I know I can bring that throttle body up a good amount. So I'm thinking I can bring this up to like right here. No problems whatsoever. Oh, can't see anything on the camera. There we go. So about right here is where I'm gonna target it to. Might have to turn it a little bit, we'll see, because I have my center line marks on the casting, which I'm gonna cut off from this separate intake manifold. So I need to set up the bandsaw, cut right down these lines right here, the casting marks. Might go up a little bit actually. I'll go remeasure that, see where I'm gonna do it, and then I have to get out my plate. Yeah, let's just start cutting stuff, see where it goes.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, I'm losing shit. A stupid myth, you choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight.
Give you a little bit of insight what I've done here. I measured the width of the flange on this side, including the bumps for the bolts. Transferred it to here, used this as a straight edge, scribed across. So I have a nice scribe line there, but also pulled the film off. That'll give me some guidance over on the bandsaw to cut a straight line. Let's cut this piece off.
Lose your grip and lose a gift,
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
yeah. There's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, so do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to savor.
It was at this point Todd knew he fucked up. I need a bigger bandsaw. That was tiring. Oh, so tiring. But now, I've got my base, and I need to put this in the drill press, clean it up over here, and drill 4 holes in it, which I need to center up all the hole areas, do a hole punch, then drill the holes. Yes.
I've got my own issues, I need a comb to get through. Don't need to groan with you, just go get your own tissue.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
That's it, the end of the song. Next time you'll sing along. Trust me, there's nothing wrong. I just need to carry on, cause society's a myth put there to make you sit. Listen to what they give. Don't ask questions, shut your lid. Yeah, don't ask questions, shut your lid. I need to run away from this and go get off the grid. Feel like my brain is overloaded, man, I'm losing it. Don't let them tell you what to do, man, they don't know shit.
And here we have all of our plenum holes. I did have an issue where it was starting to stop spinning here. So no matter how slow I went... Oh, this is a mess. Oh, this is a mess. Anyways, I was noticing up here, my $70 drill press, the chuck was stopping with pressure, and I'm like, what's going on? I open this up, it's still turning. There's a nut in here that was loose, and it's reverse thread. So when I went to go tighten it, it loosened it completely up. So I had to go the opposite way. And yeah, I tightened that bolt up, and it started working, not locking up just fine. If it did bind, it would trip the breaker. So it worked out fine. I gotta let this piece cool down, and I'll clean it up with the deburring tool, and we'll put it over here on top of the intake manifold area, see what we need to trim down, and get ready to weld up an intake. So I will be welding on the insides of these runners, and then I'll probably put some tacks on the outside, but hopefully you can see where I'm going with this. Let's see if I can do this on here. There we go. That is where I'm going with this design. And then I'll have my own tube that goes to the throttle body over here, and I'll weld it all together. That way we don't have to mess with the EGR stuff. It's all built in. We don't have to do a whole bunch of block offs. Eventually, if this takes off, I'm probably going to CAD the flange and design my own full intake with the velocity stack intakes and everything. So we'll see where it goes. I just need to start cleaning all this up, start getting to welding over there. Let's get to it. Here's another look at the intake. I did cut the ends off down here to bring that taper up a little. So usually it's the worst flowing port. It's going to be the back one, so it will be forcing air into those. Not the best, but guess what? It's going to work. And I'll probably weld this section first, put this in the vise, clamp it down, then weld around the end right there. I'll probably bring the flange in a little, put a little bit of an air gap on that side. But when the flange is on, let me center it back up like it's been. Come on. There we go. So with it centered, whenever I do my weld on the inside, it will be tapering out almost like a bell mouth inside of each cylinder. So I'll have the bell mouth into each runner here, and then I'll have the forced curve going this way on it. And then I will cut out a intake flange out of this for the throttle body to go on. Unless you guys think I need to get the thicker plate over here and then do the throttle body out of the 1/4 inch. I guess we'll see. That came out kind of cool. I wonder if I can use that for anything. I don't know. Anyways, all right, let's get to it. Just a little comparison here too. So we did cut off a couple inches here, and we are going to lose out on that much here, but the intake tube on the inside is really freaking small. So it just comes over and then comes out and down through here. So if I'm losing that much in runner length, which would be these two together, if I take this huge 3-inch and bring it out to about here-ish, which I need to do to clear that radiator hose anyways, I should have a lot of volume in here still. And roughly the same volume, but shorter runners. That will move my torque and horsepower band up in the spectrum. Where you fold rods is down low with the boost. So if my torque is way at the top end along with the horsepower, less apt to folding rods, which I'm gonna keep the boost down low anyways. And we still, like I said before, we keep the EGR plate. We keep the connector here. I'll have to figure something out for the map sensor and one vacuum line. Oops. So that's all you have to figure out, and I bet you I can just get a couple pieces of tube. So aluminum tube there, and I'll just weld a standoff and tap it. I could probably get that to work somewhere on that. Okay, let's get to it. Another day, another dollar. Time to get this thing welded on. I need to clean this up first. We're gonna weld the base plate on. I do have my 3/8 weld-on bungs that came in. I'm going to use one or two. One definitely has to go for the brake booster. The second one, I might do a map relocation. Where did I put it? It's here somewhere. There it is. So I can do a 3/8 to an adapter I can 3D print and have this just located somewhere off to the side. Or I can take some of the thick material, which it's almost the right depth here, and I can cut out a rectangle, drill a big hole for that to go into for the O-ring to seal, and then tap it on the other side for the bolt. And then once I have that manufactured, so I don't have to go all the way through the intake, I can do it on the top side, up here somewhere, or somewhere on the bend, who knows. And then I can weld it solid, and that way the tapped area won't be through the intake and have a possible vacuum leak. So let's get this cleaned up and at least get the flange here welded to it. Well, we started off a little rough with that arc strike right there. A little bit of trash. Probably could have cleaned it up a little bit, but I really don't care. Need to keep working around it. This thing is hot as can be, which actually works to my favor right now. And I'll just keep working all the way around. Here you go, starting to weld the inside of the runners up, so you can see how that's going to be pretty much going. If my buddy's watching, yes, I said that. So wait for this thing to cool down. I need a water-cooled torch. My hand is on freaking fire, and I'm only at 140 amps. So we'll let it cool down, we'll get back to it and try to finish welding it up solid. Let me tell you what, this sucker is freaking hot. Don't know if that's gonna be a problem right there. I put a little bit of extra on it, but now hopefully you can see the taper that I have going on by putting the welds and kind of sinking everything around the edges. So it should act like mini velocity stacks, and it looks pretty even. Woo! This has got to cool overnight. Tomorrow's Friday. I still have work in the morning, and ooh, it's smoky in here. I probably shouldn't be breathing this. So tomorrow we're going to be working on the cap. So the cap will be going on over here. Put some beads around that. So we'll see you tomorrow. We've got our tight radius 90 in, which is going to bring it down a whole lot. Let's get it tacked up to the V-band, put it on the turbo, put it back over in the car. So here's where she's sitting. Plenty far away from the hybrid stuff. Obviously this will get clocked and turned out of the way. So way away from all the hybrid lines. I'm just not liking how low it is and far forward. I want to move it back like 2 inches, maybe 1.5 inches, and it needs to come up 2 inches. So I got to break apart a few of these tacks and refigure out my life. Well, that hurt to do, but it was a necessity. Oh, the fun life of fabricating things. But on another note, that intake is going to look freaking sick in here. I guess it would help if I brought the light closer. So this is kind of where I'm at for the turbo now. A lot further back. We still have plenty of clearance back there off of all the lines. We have plenty of clearance over here. And of course it's spaced way up, so it'll be, all the hot stuff will be away from everything. So I think I need to take the cowl off and start from the drawing board to connect the 2 dots from the flange up to that flange. And here's the next iteration. We have a nice straight up and down over here, which I guess I can move the light so you guys can see it just a hair better. Alright, so straight up and down, those two should meet. Wastegate off to the side just like before. Those are in line up and down. We have a nice gap from the valve cover. I'm probably gonna have to put a heat shield down here unless I put a spacer in here and move this out. I'm not sure yet, but plenty of room back here. Well, I guess light would help once again. Plenty of room back here between all the lines and everything. Away from all the heat of the compressor housing, and we are stacked way above. We are probably close to 3.5 inches above anything that's below there. So that's going to be really, really good. And of course I'm going to clock the compressor housing, weld on the 90 degree off the compressor. Throttle body will be right here, go straight down. The compressor out will go straight down here. And of course we'll have a short ram with the MAF so we can have air temp. And then I'll have the vacuum going here to the valve cover. It should be really, really good. I guess I need to start fabbing up the 1/4 inch plate for the throttle body and getting that ready to weld while I'm waiting on the bandsaw and keep chucking at it. It is gonna look sick though. Really sick. Can't wait to start this thing up. Here we've got the turbo manifold middle piece. I'm starting to bevel it. I gotta do that side. It's really freaking hot, so I can't grab the end of it. So while I was waiting, I did make a template here of the throttle body. So I have my hole saw center. I'm probably gonna chuck it up, drill the hole saw area first, drill out the smaller pieces, and then I'm gonna cut it out because it's gonna be really hard to hold that in place and then drill all those little holes. And I did mark it top outer, so I did that with a scribe. So once I peel everything off and get it kind of cleaned up, I'll know which way to orient it so the bolt holes do line up, because they are offset just a little bit. They will not fit one way or the other. There is a sensor that goes into the side right here. Not sure what it does. It's probably emissions or something. I'm just going to print a TPU gasket, and for the time being I'm just going to block it off and see if any errors pop up in the tune. If so, I'll just tell the Hondata Flash Pro to ignore that sensor. Oh, and I was kind of figuring out how much pipe I have left for the one that I'm going to be selling, and it looks like a decent amount. Whew. Let's keep getting it. We're getting close. I really want to tack this together and let the turbo free hang. So let's get to it. Okay, so turbo, spacing. I mean, it's going to get clocked just a little bit up this way, which I have plenty of space up there. It should be freaking mint. Actually, if I take that bottom one down there where it says stainless, I could probably clock that one down just a little bit. I don't know. Let's just tack it up and see how it looks. Here's another look at it. So of course it's going to go back just a little bit more, and I mean, when this rotates up, I can always just rotate the turbo back on that flange. Yeah, let's oh, do I need to turn it anymore? I bet if I turn it a little bit more this way, that might help out a little bit for the clearance issues down here. Yeah, let's try that. Now this is what I'm talking about. Everything's lined up, all the bolt holes, plenty of clearance up here. Turbo looks nicely centered in here. Plenty of room in the backside, which I'm gonna have everything Cerakoted. Under here, we have plenty of room underneath it. We are a little bit off the shield there. Once again, Cerakote will hopefully control some of this heat. I'm ashamed at how many times I had to move this for the angle going upwards. Wastegate has great placement. I can go down underneath the car or up through the hood. I'll figure that out whichever way I want to go. Plenty of room for the exhaust to come up and over and do my hood exit like I was planning. Yeah, this is working out really freaking well. I think I need to just go ahead and set up the turbo manifold up on the table, clean everything off, get ready to start back purging, and weld it up solid. Let's get to it. And now with the science of 3D printing and TPU, I can now print my own purge plugs for whatever shape that I need. And they've got holes in them, so I can fill it with argon to back purge. Oh, this thing's gonna be sick. While I'm waiting on some other stuff, look how nice that throttle body flange came out. Everything lines up. I mean, of course, I'm not gonna have my little port here, which I think is evap, so I'll figure out, get those out of there. Yeah, I need to clean that now. Figure out how to redo the purge setup. But yeah, I'm ready to get this car running. All right, time to purge and weld up. Oh God, don't say that.
Not on fire.
I'm on fire, Ricky Bobby.
Not on fire.
Save me, baby Jesus. See if I can get a good arc shot going. This is turning out so nice. I think I need to turn up the gas flow just a little bit. That or I'm moving slow because I'm just not that good at it. But you can tell my welds from years ago compared to now, way better welds. The last one I do need to hook it up to the turbocharger, put the V-band on because I do not need that thing warping. And once I do that, I will back purge again and then do the final welds up on it. And we are ready to install it into the car. But first, don't wait, there's more. I need to do the old drain line before I can't reach it anymore. As I realized, once I put this manifold in, it is going to be extremely hard to get to that drain AN. So I need to take that one off. I still have to jack up the car and get the old exhaust out. God, that thing looks horrible. Get the exhaust out, take the drain line, make a new one. I do have the fittings. I was kind of using this one for a mock-up. Might have to steal the 45, but I do have a new 90 and straight fitting. I don't have any more 45s. So we'll see how that works out. So I'm gonna get the old one off, put the new one on, make it, and get to the manifold installation. This thing looks sick. All these nice welds, front and center. Everything fits in there perfectly. A little bit of a gap there, which I'm gonna have it Cerakoted. Practice makes perfect. Got to make the downpipe and wastegate dump tube. Get everything snugged up. Weld the 90 onto the turbo housing. Finish making the intake. I can start this bad boy up. I got a new AN feed line too because the other one looked really rotty. And I still have to make this drain line here. I already have it hooked up at the bottom. You probably can't see it down there. Yeah, it's tight way down, right down there. I need to pull the manifold to tighten it down, or I can do it from the bottom. But you can barely see it snaking up past there. Came out great. Can't wait to drive this car here in this turbo. It's gonna be so whistly. Okay, stop talking. Just keep working. Let's keep going. I couldn't have done it more perfect than that. It's freaking flawless. Even the vacuum port that's gonna be on the side, which I found out that is for the emissions, that does vacuum to the gas tank. That needs to be there. So I definitely need to hook that up. But I got the port all drilled out. As you can see, that's where the pipe's gonna go. Everything lines up flawlessly. So I'll get a piece of pipe cut to go over here. I have finished welding up the intake. I got a little bit carried away. Sorry about that. Everything should be nice and tidy to make a intake pipe now that goes to the throttle body. Clean the ever-loving hell out of this when it's all welded together. I need to go inside there with a long chisel and deburr a couple areas. Yeah. And then, we can start making intercooler piping over here. I do need to make the downpipe still. It's so close. So freaking close. Yeah, pitch black. It's like 11 o'clock at night. Till tomorrow. Practice makes perfect. Every single time. It was a setting I had on the welder. I'm an idiot. I moved the balance. Anyways, we've got our hole down there for that valve. Perfectly centered in the tube. I do have my little extension here. It's a little warm. Here in a minute, I'm going to put this on the corners. Hit it with a hammer. Give me some more room for the nuts to go on the backside and not be on top of the weld. I do also have some more stuff put on the car. So we have the welded up intake, which I'm going to figure out something for when I sell these kits of a new intake solution. I'm probably going to make my own intake manifold. that fits the car. It's going to be more centered here-ish and have it more perfect access to go down in here for an intercooler setup. The pitch of the turbo does not hit the hood. I closed the hood and made sure that was fine. I'm probably going to redesign this to come down slightly, maybe put a 30-degree bend in there. I do need to hook up the crankcase ventilation to the turbo intake, swap over the MAF, cut the drain line, and then start working on the exhaust and dump tube. Oh yeah, and extend some wires. And fuel line, wherever the heck that is. I need to figure out how to extend that fuel line, because I don't know if I trust the fuel line coming up underneath that compressor housing. Unless I fully sheathe it, it might be possible, but we'll cross that bridge here in a little bit. Got to keep working. Here's the example of what hitting in the corners does. Gives you some more room for the nuts to go on the backside. And oh, you can still see that the hole in there is not obstructed for the emissions. So let's get this welded up. And that's how it turned out. Really, really nice. A lot of bolt clearance. I still have the hole over there to the side. Perfect. Need to clean up the intake and then figure out the angle and weld this up. Here's what it's kind of evolving into. We do have the turbo turned up a little bit, which clears the hood. We have the throttle body going straight down. This will need to be turned obviously a little bit. I have plenty of room for the second pipe to come off of the turbo. Let's see if I can pull this off with one hand. Oh, I can. Okay. So we have the outlet of the turbo. It's going to come down this way and go down here. And then of course both will loop around to where I had it beforehand. Yeah, I need to mark where this is going to be, weld that around, and the intake is pretty much done. Ooh, let's get to it. My aluminum is getting so much better. First tried doing cast. It came out fantastic. Just a little bit of breakthrough for the penetration. Letting that cool down, because I already let the intake manifold cool down. It came out fantastic. I'm getting so much more dial with aluminum. Everything looks fantastic in here. Getting everything clocked the way I want to. I might just go no intercooler for a while to get back on the road because it's Sunday. And I need to drive this to work tomorrow, which is terrifying because I still have these whole exhaust to do. Oh, yep, let's get to it. Obviously, I didn't drive it to work all week. I drove my buddy's car. Thanks, Dylan. Appreciate it. Here is a sneak peek of the downpipe, which I guess I should probably clean the camera off a little bit. There we go, a little bit better. So hood exit's going to come up over here and then out at a 45-degree angle this way, out of the hood. I have enough room over this way for the dump tube to come up and go right next to it, so I'll have two exhausts coming up here. I'll take this panel off real quick so you can see the difference. Getting so much better at that. Okay, downpipe coming around. The turbo manifold, plenty of clearance. I have clearance back here. I'm still probably going to put a heat shield behind that because that's AC lines. And I still have to figure out the fuel line because the fuel line goes right in between all of that. I'm trying to figure out about an adapter to the fuel line end to go to like a 6AN, and then I'll weld a 6AN bung on the end of that, and then I can just run an AN line up and around and over, away from all of the hot stuff. Whew, more stuff still being cut on the bandsaw, but that's, oh, there's gonna be so many pie cuts. I thought I was never gonna do pie cuts again. Ha, kidding. Okay, let's keep getting to it. I did get the other turbo out to give a little bit of a comparison. So the footprint, end of the V-band, end of the V-band. it's really not that much bigger. And of course it'll be a smaller cone on the front side. This will be clocked obviously to the bottom side. Angle, I mean, I can have everything pretty much the same. It'll be in that exact footprint. Now the manifold will come up and then over this way instead of over and up. That will give room for the 3-inch downpipe to go straight down. That way people can make their own exhaust with it. So I'll probably do a downpipe with it, and maybe even sell just a turbo manifold for it, and they can make their own downpipe. Or you can make your own downpipe if you're talking about buying one of these. Okay, enough talk. While the downpipe was off, I did look at the fuel line connector. Comes from the firewall over to where it goes to the fuel rail. In my kit that I'll be selling, I'll include a extension. So you'll take this off the firewall, plug in the extension directly into the quick disconnect, and then you'll plug in the other side after routing it around everything. Plug it in right there. No tools, nothing needed. I mean, obviously there'll be 2 10s you have to take off, and then this metal bracket right here. But other than that, it'll be a quick connect that goes right for the fuel line, away from all the heat and everything. So here's the up pipe. We've got new purge plugs in here. TPU did not do so well. Trash pile for the couple days have been welding, clean everything off with acetone and alcohol. No fingerprints will be on this one. I don't want any rust. I don't know, I think I overheated the last one, but getting ready to jig this thing up and do a time lapse for you guys. Let's get to it. Now, while this is back purging and starting to fill up with argon, I've already wiped it down with acetone, and I'm going to wipe it down with some isopropyl alcohol, because we do not want any fingerprints whatsoever showing up on this one. We're going to wipe down the entire piece. Of course, I got to grab it up here. And I'm going to go back over this. So it was obviously extremely clean, but don't want to take any chances. I'm probably going to put some gloves on and bring you all to a time lapse. Oh yeah, before I do that, we got to burn off all these little hairs. So you want to get a torch, and of course bring it. Look at all that moisture in there. So we will burn off all of the moisture that's in this. Silicone purge plug is going to be perfectly fine. And now we've burnt off all of the contaminants. And now we can get to welding. So we're making our way around town, the V-band, and you can see smoke. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but smoke is starting to come out of the little joint areas, and then you can see, hopefully, the purge coming out of the end of that purge plug. So we should have nice gold welds on the inside of this, because I want no corrosion down here in the south. My other downpipe looks like doo-doo. All right, let's get back to it. The more I'm going, the better I'm getting. So the last weld I just did, tons of colors. Come over here to the welder. I am almost out of gas. I'm gonna have to break into the other cylinder and restart the back purge. Well, it'll give time for this to cool off. But I was under, I would say, 1500 PSI, so I was gonna run out sooner than later. So we'll let this cool down, I'll switch bottles and get back to it. Well, I'm officially out of argon. Not done yet, still have a little bit to go. The whole bottom section is complete though. We are keeping on. Just got the O2 placed. I still need to finish up welding here and put a straight on to go through the hood. But for now, while that's cooling down, I did get some fuel fittings. I tried to take the quick connect style that goes from the firewall to the fuel rail, and I was going to use these right here. I was going to get the push lock hose, snap this side onto the fuel rail, and then come over and connect this connector side into here. But the shank is just too long on this. It's not going to work. So I have gotten this fitting. It's a Russell Quick Connect to 6AN. So I'm going to use this, Butterfingers, to put that onto the car side. And then I'm going to use a 6AN hose up here to go up and over and around to the fuel rail. And on the fuel rail side, scatterbrain, I have these stainless steel 6AN weld bungs. Got two of them in case I mess up. And I have the fuel rail here. I'm going to cut the end bracket off where the bolt goes through and the stud and weld straight to this, which is regular steel. So I'm going to have to use the 309L for dissimilar metals. And I should have a stainless bung welded onto the end of this. And we'll have a 6AN fuel rail for the CRZ. So we'll do another recap. So we'll have the hard line to 6AN over here to a 6AN bung on the fuel rail. We have the vacuum hose, which we just took the sensors off right back here, and we're just going to put longer 8th inch hose, vacuum hose, to both of those sensors. We're going to go from this fitting to right here on the intake manifold. Then we have this one right here. It's an 1/8 inch. We're going to go to the emissions canister here, which is still hooked up to the pipe that goes to the tank. Haven't messed with any cooling lines, haven't messed with any of the shift cables, we haven't messed with the hybrid drive. Everything clears. So the only modification you're going to have to do is going to be vacuum hoses, and the fuel line is what we're looking like if I sell the kit. Alright, just taking a break from welding, and now I have cut and extended all of the wires to the throttle body. I left it a little long in case I want to put the throttle body somewhere else, make a new intake manifold. I already crimped and heat shrunk this side. I did get the exact same color wires from the old MR2 harness. I just cut a couple sections out, so everything is fully color coded the way that it was. All right, let's get some stuff back together. I did 3D print some spacers for the fuel injector rail standoffs. I've got the 850cc injectors in there now. Everything's welded up for the 6AN fuel fitting. Fuel line is on all the way back there. I don't know if you can see it, but it comes down into the quick connect right here. I also have the 2 vacuum line fittings or sensors hooked up into the vacuum block here, which is going to be after the PCV. That way I have brakes when I'm in boost. We don't need to die. I have the brake booster 3/8 right here. I do have the 3/8 that goes from this evap solenoid. Goes under right here. So it goes back to the emission system right there. Everything is still clearing. That's my line to the wastegate. So that's got the wastegate vacuum back here. Everything is away from heat. Still have the hybrid system mounted up on the factory locations. You can see the heater hoses, shifter cables, none of that's touched. Did have to extend this wire here to the emission solenoid. Intake manifold is tightened up. Injector rail is tightened up. I just threw this on here to start the car. I need to get this downpipe or hood exit mounted in the car. I'll do the wastegate here later, but yeah, let's mount a exhaust manifold, and I think we're ready for a first start. This is just to make sure everything's working fine. MAF, throttle body. I did 3D print a TPU gasket also because the other one was O-ringed. So throttle body's tightened down. Everything is connected. Intake's tightened down. Fuel rail's tightened down. Downpipe's tight. O2's tight. Turbo's tight. Drain and feed. All done. So wastegate's not done, and I still have to cut this to match the hood. I wiped down the downpipe and the turbo manifold with acetone and isopropyl alcohol, because if I have fingerprints showing, I'm gonna be so mad. Ooh-wee. Dual ball bearing. Oh, let's hook some power up to it. I got to get Hondata flashed with the 850 injectors, and then we'll try to start it. Ooh, let's go. Okay, car is finally, I think, all together. All the intercooler piping is hooked back up. All the sensors are hooked up. I did try to start a minute ago, did not want to start with the other injectors, so I put the factory injectors back in. We'll diagnose that later if it starts. Jacked up the car, pulled the old exhaust out, so there is nothing underneath the car. Look how gross this is. Damn South Carolina. Where the backfires kind of blew off the muffler. All right, let's see if we can get this thing started, I guess. Alrighty. All right, got the key here. Let's hook up some power. I already did flash the tune, so that's ready to go. Let's see if she starts. Let's be smart and check for injectors leaking or fuel. Nope, that looks fine. Okay. Better be safe than sorry. let's turn it off and check things. Well, I guess you can definitely tell this is a ball bearing turbo now. Ooh-wee! Yep, nothing's leaking. Everything looks fine. Oh, metal's heating up. Wastegate, I need to make the wastegate tube and then cut a hole in the hood still, but my intake manifold works. Who'd have freaking thought? And the next revisions definitely will be a lot better, but oh, that is so cool. She's alive. She's alive. I guess I need to cut a hole in the hood and start warming this thing up and test driving it. Haha, it's alive, folks. I guess we'll catch you on the next one.